Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into This Is Time Domain. I started to say gamers because I used to run a channel based on gaming, but I don't do it so much anymore because a lot of gaming. I saw something today, and I realized why I walked away from gaming, based upon this one thing. All right, now there was a certain YouTuber out there. I don't watch his content so much anymore. I don't watch a lot of gaming YouTuber content because most of them now, um, they're always in a battle with these companies and all that. I don't have any, I genuinely don't have a problem with it. But today I saw something happen where I'm just like, I saw this, and this guy made an agreement with somebody, this girl. All right, she's like, I'll go on this show if you paint your nails. Now, she said this to a guy. All right, it doesn't matter how embarrassing it is, but painting your nails as a guy, agreeing to a girl, you are not straight. Nothing about that. Painting your nails for a girl is not straight. You are homosexual. I don't understand why this is a hard method to understand, especially because a guy like me, who, back in the days, back in my early days when I was still into that kind of stuff, you know, punk rock, metal, stuff like that. When I grew up and got out of high school, I did some things that insinuated and showed off I was part of that. I like that genre of music and all that. Now, I see this now, and I stand back and I look about it because I started reading this. I stand back and I look at it, and I'm like, I'm in my 30s right now. I've done weird stuff like a couple years back, but I got to the point where I got past it. So for me, today's been one of those days where it's been a pretty rough day, considering the fact that being on the internet and looking at things, um, you know, and just the LGBTQ has been taking over all the masses from the way it looks. And I haven't really even looked at the internet for hours today because I was working on my comic book for other reasons. But this today's just showed me that we really are at a point where we're so damaged, where the country is entirely damaged. People get mad at me for saying stuff like that, but all honesty, how else can I say it? We have dudes having homosexual tendencies for other guys. And the worst part about it is that you already know how the human body works. I don't understand why this is a hard thing to understand. Where are the biology classes being taught in schools? Where are these sex ed classes being taught in schools? Where are they right now? Apparently they're nowhere to be found. And this is not only Gen Z doing this, this is even my generation doing this. Because we all thought we were rebellious. Now, in the recent months, people were getting me confused with having this channel and thinking I've accepted them. Somehow letting it sink into their brain that I've accepted them, when I do not accept them. I don't accept that kind of stuff here. When I see people do weird stuff in this chat and talk about weird stuff, I cut it off instantly. Mostly because it doesn't need to be here. Mostly because anybody that's coming in and acting up, that's a demon. I don't understand how we seeped this low within human society. We seep to the lowest of lows, and a guy, and I'm at the point now where I'm reading this, and I know a lot of people think I'm genuinely crazy because I read this and I talk about things I see, but I have experienced this because I'm in touch with Jesus Christ and God. All right, like nobody else is. apparently. There are people that had experiences in their past that told me they had experiences. But society has fallen. It's fallen. It's definitely fallen. And we are pretty much, I believe we're pretty much on the verge of like Rome right now. Where, man, that sun's bright. Hold on a second. Let me close the window because that sun's just like beaming in here. Yeah. Alright. Now the sun's not beaming on me so much. But I think about it this way. Why have we turned out to be much like Rome? Why are we repeating what happened in Rome? You know, I just don't get it. I don't get why a man would paint his nails for a woman. I don't know why that would be. I don't know why that would be acceptable. At least, as a man who likes women, who's straight. If a woman was to walk up to me and ask me to paint my nails, like the Akatsuki from Naruto, yes, I'm gonna specifically say that. If anybody listens to this, that's why I'm making a big deal about it. But if a girl's asking a guy to paint his nails and he's accepting of that, yeah, he's not straight. He's not straight because wearing women's clothes and painting your nails is not very manly. Never was. And back in the day, yes, my younger self was very rebellious and did things like that, paint my nails and stuff like that. But I changed. I'm now 36. And I haven't even bothered to paint my nails. I took all my piercings out a few years back. I changed. I decided, you can see a hole in my ear right here. I used to have gauges. I used to be like that. I used to want a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that. Now, not so much anymore. And it's because I've grown older to the point where now I understand why I did wrong back then as opposed to now. Now, most people are at the stage where we've just accepted doing wrong, and we're okay with doing wrong. We've accepted these things that are actually wrong, and just decided to embrace them for some reason. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with it one bit, because I suffer from a lot of the wrongdoers around me, not being able to live out my life the way I want to. So I lean towards Jesus Christ and God because I can't live my life I want to. Once your life, once everybody around you cuts you off from living a human life, living life the way you should, you lean towards Jesus Christ, and you just hope Jesus Christ and God will always be there for you. I let Jesus Christ and God fight most of my battles, but there are so many people out there that want to do harm to me, that want to do really, really awful stuff to me. Hence why I don't really talk to people anymore, because there are people that literally have wanted to do harm to me and wish they would wish my life was destroyed. It hurts. Being human being hurts. Making you feel like you are the epitome of everything wrong in society when you know you're doing the right thing hurts. But I had a friend a little while ago. She asked me to do the same thing. Dye my nails like the Akatsuki from Naruto. That's what I said to her. No. I said to her no. And you know why? Because I felt wrong doing it. I felt uncomfortable accepting to say yes to her. Because I don't want to look a certain way. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Painting your nails is a girly thing. It's a very girly thing. No man should be doing it. Alright, if somebody's getting mad at me for not painting my nails, then so be it. I don't want to bow down to the world before me and having to suffer even more, thinking that people are okay with having homosexual tendencies around me. It's not acceptable. And if I was in charge, I would have every homosexual person locked up and placed in jail and eat poop from a bowl every single day, so that way they can suffer. I'm not lying. I would do something like that. I know that's very grotesque of me, and I know that's very awful of me. But much as I had to suffer, and believe me, I'm gonna say one thing to you guys here about this. I have a story real quick. I might actually tell it at the end here, but I know Jesus Christ is suffering right now. I know Jesus Christ is suffering right now. I just know, and I'll explain why at the end of this. But now let's get this book started, and I'll explain why later on why Jesus Christ is suffering. Isn't that right? All right. Nehemiah, chapter 1. Nehemiah's prayer. The word of Nehemiah, son Hekeliah, in the month of Kislev, in the 12th year, while I was in the citadel of Susa, Hanani, one of my brothers, came from Judah with some other men, and I questioned them about the Jewish remnants, and had survived the exile, also about Jerusalem. They said to me, those who survived the exile and are back in province are in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and the gates have been burned with fire. When I heard these things, I sat down, wept for some days. I mourned and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. Then I said, Lord, the God of heaven, the great and awesome God, who keeps his covenant of love with those who love him and keep his commandments, let your ear be attentive and your eyes opened to hear the prayer. Your servant is praying before you day and night. For your servant, the people of Israel, I confess the sins were Israelites, including myself and my father's family, have committed against you. We have acted very wickedly towards you. We have not obeyed the commands, decrees, and laws you gave your servants Moses. Remember the instructions you gave your servant Moses, saying, if you are unfaithful, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to obey me and my commands, then even your exiled people are at the furthest horizon. I will gather them from there and bring them to the place I have chosen as a dwelling for my name. They are your servant and your people, whom you redeemed by your great strength and your mighty hand. Lord, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant, and to the prayer of your servant who delight in revering your name. Give your servant success today by granting him favor in the presence of this man. I was a cupbearer to the king. All right, so chapter 2. Artaxerxes sends Nehemiah to Jerusalem. In the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before, so the king asked me, why does your face look so sad when you are not ill? This cannot be nothing but sadness of my heart. I was very much afraid, but I said to the king, may the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruin and gates have been destroyed by fire? The king said to me, what is it you want? Then I prayed to God of heaven, and I answered the king, if it pleases the king, and if your servants have found favor in his sight, let him send to the city in Judah where my ancestors are buried, so that I can rebuild it. The king, with the queen sitting beside him, how long will your journey take, and when will you get back? It pleased the king to send me, so I set a time. I also said to him, if it pleases the king, I may have letters to the governor of Trans-Euphrates, so that you will provide me with safe conduct until I arrive in Judah. And may I have a letter to Asaph, keeper of the royal park, so he will give me timber to make beams for the gates of the citadel by the temple, and for the city, and for the residents I will occupy. And because the gracious hand of my God was on the king, granted my request. So I went to the governor of the Trans-Euphrates and gave them the king's letter. The king had also sent armies officials and the cavalry with me. The Sanballat of Horonite, the Toabai, the Ammonite official, heard about this. They were very much disturbed with someone had came to promote welfare of the Israelites. Nehemiah inspects Jerusalem's wall. When Jerusalem, when I went to Jerusalem, and after staying there 3 days, I sent out during the night with few others. I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem. There were no amount of except the one I was riding on. By night, I went out through the valley gate toward the jackals, well, and the dung gate, examining the wall of Jerusalem, which had been broken down, and its gates, which had been destroyed by fire. Then I moved on toward the fountain gate and the king's pool, but there was not enough room for my mouth to get through. So I went up the valley by night, examining the wall, finally turned back and re-entered through the valley gate. The official did not know where I had gone or what I was doing, because as yet I had said nothing to the Jews of the priests or nobles or officials or any others would be doing the work. Then I said to them, you see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burned with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace. I also told them about the gracious hand of God on me, and what about the king had said to me. They replied, let us start rebuilding. So they began this good work. But the Sanballat, the Horonite, the Toabai, the Ammonite officials, and Geshem, the Arab, heard about. They mocked and ridiculed us. This is what you are doing, they asked. Are you rebelling against the king? I answered them by saying, the God of heaven will give us success. We, his servants, will start rebuilding. But as for you, you have no share in Jerusalem, or any clan, or historic right to it. So we're on chapter 3. I'm not feeling well right now. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like tired. I feel like drained right now. Man. Alright. Builders of the wall. 3. Shabai, the high priest, and his fellow priest went to work and rebuilt the sheep gate. They dedicated it to set it store in place, building as far as the Tower of the 100, which they dedicated as far as the Tower of Hananel. The men of Jericho built the adjoining section of Zachariah, son of Emri, built next to them. The fish gate was rebuilt by the son of Hassenaah, They laid its beam and put its door and bolts and bars in place. Meremoth, son of Uriah, son of Hazak, repaired the next section next to him in Meshullam, son of Barak, the son of Mesabel, made repair. And next to him, Zodak, son of Benah, also made repairs. The next section was repaired by the men of Tekoa and their nobles, not put their shoulders to work under their supervisors. The Jeshanah gate was repaired by Joadai, son of Pezah, and Meshullam, son of Bezadiah. They laid its beam and put its door, their bolts and bars in place. Next to them, repairs were made by men for Gibeon and Mesphah, Meleth and Gibeon and Jadon of Maranoth, places under the authority of the governor in the Euphrates. Uzel, son of Herahiah, one of the goldsmiths, repaired the next section, and Hanani, one of the perfume makers, made repairs next to that. They restored Jerusalem as far as the board wall. Rephiah, son of Hur, ruler of half district of Jerusalem, repaired the next section. Adjoining this, Jedediah, son of Harapha, made repairs opposite his house. And Hattush, son of Habbenai, made repairs next to him. Mejekiah, son of Hiram, and Hasub, son of Pethut, Moab, repaired another section, and the tower of the ovens, Shalom, son of Hilohesh, ruler of the half district of Jerusalem, repaired the next section with help of his daughters. The valley gate was repaired of Hahanan and the residents of Zoanah. They rebuilt it and put its door with the bolts and bars in place. They also repaired 1,000 cubits of the wall as far as the dung gate. The dung gate was repaired by Mechelijah, son of Rechab, ruler of the district of Beth Hakerama. He rebuilt it and put its doors with their bolts and bars in place. The fountain gate was repaired by Shalom, son of Kohezu, ruler of the district of Mesphah. He rebuilt it, roofing it over and putting its doors and bolts and bars in place. He also repaired the wall of the pool of Shalom by the king's garden as far as the steps going down from the city of David. Beyond him, Nehemiah, son of Azbuk, ruler of the half district of Beth Zur, made repairs to a point opposite the tomb of David as far as the artificial pool and the house of the heroes next to him. The repairs were made by Levites under Rehum, son of Benai, beside him Bashhabai, ruler of half the district of Kelai, carried out repairs on his district. Next to him, the repairers were made by their fellow Levites under Benai, son of Henadad, ruler of the other half district of Kelai. Next to him, Azer, son of Joshua, ruler of Mesphah, repaired another section from a point facing ascent to the armory as far as the angel of the wall. Next to him, Baruch, son of Zabai, zealously repaired another section from the angel to the entrance of the house of Elishib. The high priest next to him, Meremoth, son of Uriah, the son of Hazekah, repaired another section from the entrance of Elishib, house to the end of it. The repair next to him were made by the priest from the surrounding region beyond them. Benjamin and Heshub made repairs in front of their house, and next to them, Azariah, son of Mashai, son of Anani, made repairs besides his house. Next to him, Benoi, son of Henadad, repaired another section from Azariah's house to the angel in the corner. And Pelala, son of Uzai, worked opposite the angel in the tower projecting from the upper place near the court of the guard. Next to him, Pedadai, son of Peros, and a temple servant living on the hill of Ophel, made repairs up to a point opposite the water gate towards the east and projecting tower. Next to them, the man of Tekoa repaired another section from the great projecting tower of the wall of Opha. Above the horse gate, the priest made repairs, each in front of his house. Next to them, Zodak, son of Emir, made repairs opposite his house. Next to him, Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, the guard of the east gate, made repairs. Next to him, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanan, the sixth son of Zephel, repaired another section. Next to them, Meshullam, son of Berechiah, made repairs opposite his living quarters. Next to him, Melchijah, one of the goldsmiths, made repairs as far as the house of the temple servant, and the merchants opposite the inspection gate as far as the room above the corner, and between the room above the corner and sheep gate, the goldsmiths and merchants were made repairs. So we're on chapter 4. Boy, that was long. There's a lot of repairs being made there, and a lot of stuff just going on, repairing all this. So, all right. Opposition to rebuilding, chapter 4. The Cenobite heard that we were building the wall. He became angry and was greatly increased. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates and army of Samaria, he said, "What are those feeble Jews doing here? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stone back to life from those heaps of rubble, burned as they are?" Tobiah the Ammonite, who was at his side, said, "What are they building? Even a fox climbing up on it would break their wall of stone. Hear us, our God, for we are despised. Turn their insult back on their own heads. Give them over to splendor in a land of captivity. Do not cover up their guilt or blot out their sins from your sight, for they have thrown insults in the face of the builders. So we rebuilt the wall till all of it is reached half its height. For the people worked with all their heart. But when Sanballatah, Tobiah, and the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Ashdod heard the repairs of Jerusalem's wall had gone ahead, and that the gaps were being closed, they were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But they prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet their threat. Meanwhile, the people of Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Also, our enemies said before they knew it or see us, "We will be right there among them, and will kill them and put an end to their work." The Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, "Wherever you turn, they will attack us." Therefore I stationed some of the people behind the lowest point of the wall at the exposed place, posting them by families. With their sword, spears, and bows. After I looked things over, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officials, the rest of the people, "Do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your families, your son and daughter, your wives and your homes." When our enemy heard that we were aware of their plot and the God had frustrated it, we all returned to the wall, each to our own work. For that day on, half of my men did the work, while the other half were equipped with spears, shields, bows, armor. The officers posted them behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried the materials did their work with one hand and held a weapon in the other. And each of the builders wore his swords at his side as he worked, but the men who sounded the trumpets stayed with them. Then I said to the officials, and the rest of the people, "The work is extensive and spread out, and we are wildly separated from each other along the wall. Whenever you hear the sound of the trumpet, join us there. Our God will fight for us." So we counted the work, with half the men holding the spears from the first light of dawn till the stars came out. At the time, I also said to the people, "Have every man and his helper stay inside Jerusalem at night, so they can serve us as guards by night and workers by day." Neither I nor my brother, nor my men, nor the guards with me took off our clothes, each with his weapon, even when he went for water. So we're on chapter 5 now. Right. So I think I'm going to get through chapter 5 because chapter 6 looks kind of long, and I don't think I'm going to be able to read through all of chapter 6. So, Nehemiah helps the poor. Chapter 5. Now the men and their wives raised a great outcry against the fellow Jews. Some were saying, "We and our sons and daughters are numerous. In order for us to eat and stay alive, we must get grain." Others were saying, we are mortgaging our fields, our vineyards, and our homes to get grain during the famine." Still others were saying, "We have had to borrow money to pay the king's tax on our field, the vineyard, although we are of the same flesh and blood as our fellow Jews, and though our children are as good as theirs, yet we have to subject our sons and daughters to slavery. Some of our daughters have already been enslaved, and we are powerless, because our field and our vineyard belong to others." When I heard their outcry and these charges, I was very angry. I pondered them in my mind, and then accused the nobles and officials. I told them, You are charging your own people interest. So I called together a large meeting to deal with them and said, as far as possible, we have brought back our fellow Jews who were sold to Gentiles. Now, you are selling your own people only for them to be sold back to us. They kept quiet because they couldn't find nothing to say. So I continued, what are you doing? What are you doing? What you are doing is not right. Shouldn't you walk in fear of God to avoid the reproach of the Gentile enemies? And I, my brother, and my men are also lending the people money and grain. But let us stop charging interest. Give back to them immediately their fields, vineyards, olive groves, and houses, and also the interest you are charging them. 1% of money, grain, new vine, and olive oil. We will give it back, they said, and we will not demand anything more from them. We will do as you say. Then I summoned the priest and made the nobles and officials take an oath to do what they had promised. I also shook out folds of my robe and said, in this way may God shake out their households and possessions. Anyone who does not keep this promise, may such a person be shaken out and emptied. At this whole assembly said, Amen, praise the Lord, and the people did as they promised. Moreover, from the 20th year of the king Artaxerxes, when I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah until his 32nd year, 12 years, neither I nor my brother ate food allotted to the governor, but the earlier governors, those preceding, might place a heavy burden on the people, and took 40 shekels of silver from them. In addition to the food and wine, their assistants also lorded it over by the people. But the reverence for God, I did not act like that. Instead, I devoted myself to the work of all this, work on this wall. All my men were assembled there for the work. We did not acquire any land. Furthermore, 150 Jews and officials ate at the table, as well as those who came at us from the surrounding nations each day. 1 ox, 6 choice sheep, and some poultry were prepared for me. And every 10 days an abundant supply of wine of all kinds. In spite of all this, I never demanded the food allotted to the governor, because of the demands were heavy on those people. Remember me with favor, my God, for all I have done for those people. So they were charging them taxes on stuff, and they were trying to get themselves out of debt, and just kept putting themselves back in debt because they were trying to handle it in a way that wasn't very good. So, let's see, what time is it? 7:07. All right, so yeah, I'll read chapter 6. Further opposition. All right, let me upgrade it, and then we'll move on with it. I'm gonna sit here and talk with you guys after I'm done, because I want to talk about things that I think I should bring up. 4, 5, and all right, 4, 5, and 6. Update now. All right, so we're gonna go on with chapter 6 now. Further opposition to the rebuilding. Chapter 6. When the word came to Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem, and Arab, and the rest of our enemies that had rebuilt the wall, and not a gap was left in it, though up to that time I had not set the door and the gates. Sanballat and Geshem sent me this message: Come, let us meet together in one of the villages on the plain of Ona. But they were scheming to harm me, so I sent messengers to them with this reply: I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I and leave it and go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. Then the 5th time, Sanballat sent his aide to me with the same message, and his hand was an unsealed letter in which was written, It is reported among the nations, and Geshem says it's true, that you and the Jews are plotting to revolt, and therefore you are rebuilding the wall. Moreover, according to those reports, you are about to become their king, and have even appointed prophets to make this proclamation about you in Jerusalem. There is a king in Judah. Now, this report will get back to the king. So come, let us meet again. Let us meet together. I sent him to reply, Nothing like what you are saying is happening. You are just making it up out of your head. They were all trying to frighten us, thinking their hands will get too weak for the work, and it will not be completed. But I prayed. Now strengthening my hand, one day I went to the house of Nehemiah, son of Dialah, son of Mehethabel, who was shut in at his home. He said, Let us meet in the house of God, inside the temple, and let us close the temple door, because men are coming to kill you. By night they are coming to kill you. But I said, Should a man like me run away, or should someone like me go into the temple to save his life? I will not go. I realized that God had not sent him, but that he had prophesied me about Tobiah, the Sanballat, and hired him. He had been hired to intimidate me so that I would commit a sin by doing this, and then they would give me a bad name to discredit me. Remember, Tobiah and his son of Sanballat, my God, because of what they have done. Remember also the prophet of Nehemiah, and how she and the rest of the prophets have been trying to intimidate me. So the wall was completed on the 25th of Elul, in the 52 days. Opposition of the completed wall. When our enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and lost their self-confidence, because they realized that this work had been done with the help of our God. Also in those days, the nobles of Judah were sending many letters to Tobiah, and replied to Tobiah, Tobiah kept coming to them from many in Judah, were under oath to him, since he was son-in-law of Shenakiah, son of Erah, and his son of Johanna had married the daughter of Shillem, son of Berechiah. Moreover, they kept reporting to me his good deed, and then telling him what I said. And Tobiah sent letters to intimidate me. Actually, that's it for chapter 6. Okay, so we'll start at chapter 7 tomorrow. All right, so now I can talk. All right, so a little while ago, back around the time when remember that golden necklace I showed you guys earlier with the face of Jesus Christ on it. Um, I had an incident where I was at a gas station, and I just got there. I locked my bicycle up because I don't drive a car. I locked the bicycle up, okay? And as I'm locking my bicycle up, I see a guy step out of his car. This guy looked exactly like Jesus Christ, like a younger version of Jesus Christ, and the beard was short like mine. All right, long curly hair like Jesus Christ, had the whole attire on, like it looked like a guy in a costume. But I was like, okay, well, I mean, why would somebody be doing that at all? But the guy was like full Jesus Christ attire. So what I did is I went into the store, and he was ahead of me. He walked in the store. He went into the restroom, and I bought something that night because I was like, I would go and I would sit down. I would be playing games, and then I sit down and run and get snacks, and then come back and have energy drinks and everything at my expense. But after I'm done buying stuff, I walk out. He walked out before me, and he was getting into his car, and I looked over at him, and we looked directly in the eye at each other. We didn't even say anything. We were at a distance, but he looked. This I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I like to say, I saw Jesus Christ. Maybe Jesus Christ walks among us. And I've had some pretty weird experiences in my life. So why would I be seeing Jesus Christ? Um, but he looked exactly like the description in the Bible, the way it is described to him in the very first part of the Bible. Okay, he looked exactly like this, except for the white hair. He didn't have the white hair. And what's even more weird and interesting about this is so the setting is at a gas station. So around a gas station, there were uh, lamps. Okay, there were like lamps to light up the parking lot to see what was going on in the parking lot. Okay, there were lamps around the parking lot. Okay, I don't know how many lamps were in that area, but the description of is seeing and John, the way John describes Jesus Christ and where he stood there. They were between lamps. Okay, lamps. So I'm going to just say it's a weird coincidence to see Jesus Christ in a parking lot at a gas station with a bunch of lamps around me, and other people saw this guy too. I'm not the only one who saw him. And till this day, I have no clue where this guy went. But then, what's even more weirder is I had a roommate at the time. His name was literally John, and the guy who tells the story in the Bible, his name is John. Jesus Christ stepped out of a white car, got back into a white car. Jesus Christ was described as riding a white horse. All right, and then on top of it, he looked furious. He looked like he was mad about something. And I can guarantee you, I think Jesus Christ walks among us, and he has pain in him that is unbearable to this day. The fact that I may have seen Jesus Christ, I have every right in the world to say Jesus Christ is walking among us. And he's in some pain. He's in pain. He's mad. His eyes are like how my eyes look when I'm in pain. Not the glossy look, but when I'm actually in pain, when I'm like furious about something. That was the look Jesus Christ gave back to me. Jesus Christ, you know, if I saw Jesus Christ in a parking lot, the weird description of Revelations, and then experiencing that in real life, and then having a roommate named John on top of it, and John's the one telling the story. Now this John didn't tell me the story, but the lamp posts were around the parking lot of the gas station, and Jesus Christ looked exactly like they described him in the Bible. So seeing him look me directly in the eye, and we'd said nothing. He looked bad. And when he closed his door, he did it with frustration. He didn't even close the door fully. And I know this sounds crazy, but the description to a T is what's in his Bible. The seven lamp posts. Was it golden lamp post? It wasn't exactly golden lamp post. It was lamp post, of course. But the gold was shining down into the parking lot. Jesus Christ stepped out of a white car. Jesus Christ was supposed to come back on a white horse. I think I saw Jesus Christ years ago. And he is walking among us. And he's in pain. He's mad at society if that was him. He's definitely mad at society. He's definitely mad at the world. He feels, if that was Jesus Christ, I feel his pain. There's a couple of us that feel that same exact pain. That's just mad at the world. Because the world has cut some of us off from actually enjoying our life. We're in pain and suffering because we can't live a human life. We're stuck. I have no problem with pleasing God and Jesus Christ. No problem at all. But when it comes to worldly stuff, I'm kind of cut off from that. So, yeah, Jesus Christ looked exactly like described in the book. He looked mad though. And I think there's a description of Jesus Christ having fire in his eyes, which if I go and check, now let me see if I can find it in this version of it describes it a lot differently, a little bit differently than the one I read to you last night. So in Revelations, the very first chapter. All right, Revelations. All right, so, and this is what John says. I turned around to see the voice that was speaking to me, and when I turned, I saw 7 gold lampstands, which would be around a gas station. Okay, and among the lampstands was somebody like a son of man, dressed in a robe, reaching for his feet, and with a gold sash around his chest. The hair on his head was white, so it wasn't white, and his eyes were blazing like blazing fire. All right, so the blazing fire reference means somebody that's really, really just angry. You can see the anger in their eyes. They don't have to. They don't have to really express themselves. You can just see it in their eyes. Their eyes will turn to like fire. Now, as for the white hair, Jesus Christ didn't have white hair. Not Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, it's just wild. Like, I've had so many weird experiences, and none of this is actually made up. I wish I had like taken a picture. That would have been even more interesting. But I'm not gonna take a picture in respects for, you know, respects. You know, and a lot of people wanna like a lot of people want to like make sure I'm not doing stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. As you guys can tell, a society, I'm not a big fan of our society. I'm not a big fan of the direction society is, and there's a lot of people like me that are just upset with society, and we're ready for it to change. We're ready for the world to. We're ready for us. We're ready for something big to happen, a big change, and I hope that happens soon. You know, but all right. So, excuse me. All right. I think I'm gonna end up saying my prayer right now. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. All right. So, all right. All right. So, yep. I'm gonna just pray right now, and then I'll sign out for the night. Hope you all had a good Easter. I was just sitting at home all day. I didn't really spend time with anybody. I didn't really do anything. I went out for a walk, and that was really about it. You know, not even my mom texted me today saying Happy Easter to me. Nobody texted me. That's the awful part about this. Like, nobody has said anything to me all day. And you know the worst part is? I forgave people. I forgave people. But you know what? Because I turned the hippie community down, I turned away from the hippie community, and I turned away from the crystal community, which is people wearing crystals. Yeah, they're not a fan of me. They're not a fan of me anymore. And that's why they choose to shun me, because I'm not part of their following. I'm not part of what they want. On top of it, I disagree with a lot of stuff. I actually, like I said, I do disagree with homosexuality. I think it's, I think, people are just, I think people are just pretty horrible human beings when it comes down to it, and just, yeah, they want to shun people for things that they genuinely like are supposed to be, happy doing. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. All right, so let's just say a prayer, and then I'm gonna sign off. So, Lord Jesus Christ, I pray to you that tomorrow becomes a better day for me. Lord, I am not feeling well today. I don't know why that is, but Lord, if you could send some, you know, good, send your angels my way to take care of whatever demon is around me. Like, Lord, I got shunned again from a whole community of people who think they know what they're doing and think worshiping you the wrong way is their way. But Lord, I know better. I know better. Lord, I've been trying to get people to understand that they need to stop pretending that a lot of people have like tried to destroy my life for the past few years, and I think, Lord, we need this rapture to happen, Lord. We need something big to happen to separate all of us from now, Lord. I've been suffering the past few years, and I know you see it. I know you see it, Lord. Also, I pray to you to just send some protection my way, send some good health my way. I know right now, half the world's probably against me because of what I did last night, but I did right in the way of you, and I'm kind of glad you saw that. I'm kind of glad that you understand that I am like trying to work by you, Lord. Lord, also send protection to everybody that's enjoying themselves today. At least the ones that I am close to. Lord, just keep everybody safe. Send angels their way, and Lord, this LGBTQ community, we need to put a stop to this, Lord. This is what's causing a lot of the problems in today's society. My mom didn't even bother to text me today, Lord. So if you could place it on her and just show her that she was just being rude today, Lord. Um, Lord, also I just pray that people get over their stuff with me, their drama. They don't want to let go of stuff, and I've learned that with them. And I think they like watching people suffer, Lord. So if you could just make them realize that making people suffer isn't a way to go. In Jesus' name, Amen. All right, so there you have it. I'm done for the day. I'm tired. I'm probably gonna go eat something here very soon. I didn't even cook myself anything because I have very little to cook right now, but I'm gonna cook as much as I can and enjoy my evening. All right. So with that said, I got 2 more minutes. Um, yeah, just I hope some of you enjoyed your Easter. I hope some of you enjoyed your day. Um, I've been irritated throughout the day because some of the stuff that people are just throwing the you know I think America needs to be rechecked. I think America. I think something needs to happen in this country that's gonna put a stop to this movement that's overtaking everything. It's making a lot of people, including me, suffer, and I want no part of it. But they try to keep pushing me back into it. It's like if I have to suffer, they get a kick out of it. And you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't cause you to become that way. You chose that yourself. Anybody out there trying to throw me under the bus because because your sexual desires are something you're concerned with, well then guess what, buddy? It's not my fault. You chose that lifestyle. I didn't. Understand that. If you got, like, literally, if these people were to just come to an understanding, which they won't, they never will, because they just choose to, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think the IQ drops lower when they choose to do that, because I've never witnessed this many people just doing outrageous things to me, and then feeling like they have the upper hand on somebody. You know, I can't help I feel a certain way about you guys. I can't help you repulse me. I can't help that. I can't help to not like you guys. And the fact that like they keep holding on to stuff expecting people to come their way. Not everybody's gonna pursue you. Not everybody wants to join you. Understand that. I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting myself from humiliation and these worldly devices. These people wanna like fall to prejudice because people won't accept them. We don't need to accept you. We weren't supposed to accept you to begin with. But we had to, because the government, you put some people in the government that are just like that. And I can't wait till the day. I can't wait till the day. I feel like it's coming very soon. But we're gonna hear somebody say we're gonna start arresting people part of the LGBTQ because it's. I just hope that comes one day. I hope that comes one day. And if a civil war breaks out, guess what? I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy. All right. So with that said, I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a wonderful night. God bless you. Have a wonderful Easter. I'm gonna eat some food. Maybe I'll cheer up. Maybe I'll feel better. Maybe I stream tonight. I'm about to go put my comic book up and upload a short. So hang in, stay tuned for that, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next